Welcome to the Dota 2 wrap-up, where we wrap up the last week at Dota 2. I'm your host, DJ Wilma.
Please listen carefully.
Not to sound like a broken record, but I want to talk about the sketchy tournament organizers that plague the Dota 2 scene. For those of you who don't know, I'm not just a writer on Liquid Dota, but also an active member of the Dota 2 Liquipedia community. Our very own Lewis conducted an investigation on the North American Summer Shuffle at the request of the invited teams. When Lewis questioned why the sponsor has had zero communication about the upcoming event, he received strong opposition from the tournament organizer, stating they were not obliged to provide private documentation about the tournament to someone irrelevant to it, then claiming only part of the prize pool would be paid by them and the rest through streaming advertising. I wish this was an isolated case, but just last week I was confronted by a new tournament organizer who pleaded that their tournament get on Liquipedia, or else their esports betting sponsor would not be paying out the prize pool to the teams. Due to this tournament looking about as sketchy as a warlock with two rapiers, having almost no social media presence, and inviting unknown teams for a $10,000 tournament, Liquipedia chose not to host the page. Even more behind the scenes, I've been privy to presentations sent to sponsors from new tournament organizers, claiming they've already had accepted invites from Tier 1 and Tier 2 teams. After discussing it with these teams, they said they'd never even heard of the tournament organizers. Scariest part about this is most of these competitions have valid Valve tickets for Dota TV, creating a false sense of security for both bettors and players alike. And only after Valve steps in and creates some sort of a board to be able to properly vet these tournaments, we'll always have to be relying on the contributions of the Dota 2 Liquipedia community. In recent results, the BTS Pro Series Season 2 Americas concluded with Evil Geniuses placing third after losing the lower bracket finals against 4 Zoomers, in which Crit said in a tweet, "GG Zoomers, no more offlane for me," presuming he'll be returning to his role as a position 4. This left Quincy Crew to face up against the 4 Zoomers in the grand finals, and after the series going the distance, Quincy Crew was able to secure first place finish. Parimatch Season 3 playoffs concluded this week, with Fly to Moon establishing themselves as the top CIS team outside of the Virtus Pro organization. They lost the upper bracket finals to Virtus Pro, but then made quick work of Hellraisers in the lower bracket finals. But like a bad case of reverse deja vu from last season, Fly to the Moon was up 2-0 in the series, only to fall short of winning their final game and lose against Virtus Pro 3-2. In player interviews, Taras Bortnick of VPEsports.com was able to sit down with Hellraiser's Rodjer to discuss the roster's issues and the impact of the online tournaments in place of LANs. In new podcast, We Say Things featuring syndereN and SUNSfan talked extensively this week about the new patch 7.27, the Dr. Disrespect situation, the Beyond Epic event, and hero reworks.
But hey, I'll take anything I can get. syndereN gets every fucking thing he suggests into the game. I'll take my literal garbage, which is Fury Swipes.
Position 6, hosted by Dan Offen, had 4 new episodes last week, each interviewing a different female member of the Dota 2 community. While Sidepull, hosted by DotaCapitalist and Leafator, discussed the events of last week's sexual harassment stories coming forth with Moxxi and Reinessa. Coming up this week, you can catch the remainder of the OG Dota Pit Season 2 China playoffs with Vici Gaming and CDEC in the upper bracket finals, but kicking off the lower bracket tomorrow with Invictus Gaming vs Team Aster and Royal Never Give Up vs eHome. Also continuing this week, the OneEsports Dota 2 C League will conclude its group stages with GeekFam and Team Android trying to fight their way to secure upper bracket spots. Week 3 of the DPL-CDA Professional League Season 2 will see if CDEC and PSG LGD can maintain their top spots in the group. In the Great American Rivalry Season 1, we'll see if 4 Zoomers can maintain their perfect score in the group stages, but we'll have to wait until the following week to see a North American favorites such as Business Associates and Quincy Crew play their games. Finally, the Moon Studio Asian League C Qualifier kicked off today with Neon Esports, the tournament favorite, already taking their first 2 series. That's it for the Dota 2 wrap-up. I'm your host, DJ Wilma.
Please listen carefully.